Welcome everyone. My name is Jen Averink. I'm the health and fitness professional at Evolve Fitness in Burlington, Ontario, Canada. Today I'm going to be talking to you about getting rid of your trouble spots. So I wanted to get started right away and tell you I had a number of you email with some questions because you weren't able to make it tonight on the call. So I'm going to start with those. I'm just going to mention, I'm sure that these trouble spots may be some of the trouble spots that you have. So I've heard from people, I need to get rid of belly fat. And another one I hear a lot is on my thighs and my butt. I'd like to target, this was an interesting one. I'd like to see how I can reduce the size of my breasts without surgery. That's a good question. Okay, well, I'm going to get started right away by starting the talk with, sorry, let me just get that, there we go. So, unfortunately, targeting trouble spots, unfortunately, there is absolutely no way to spot reduce without surgery. And in fact, any reputable doctor is going to ask you to make some lifestyle changes before they put you under the knife. And those lifestyle changes, nutrition, exercise, and proper recovery, those are the things that we need to do. Now, that's not to say that I can't answer your questions about spot reducing. What do we really want? We have to look at what we really want here. Do we want to just lose weight? We obviously, you've told me that you would like to spot reduce. Well, when we go about dieting and exercising, oftentimes we just want to we focus on seeing that scale number move down. I think that that's not really what we're after. If you look at it, what we're really after is to look and feel good, right? These are the questions that have come in. I don't feel good about the way that my stomach looks, or the way that my thighs look. I don't like the way I don't like the way my arms look. My arms are flabby. These are the things that I hear. We really want to look good. We want to feel good, right? People tell me they want to feel strong. They want to feel healthy. A lot of my clients come in and say they want to have energy to play with their kids, to play with their grandkids. And let's face it, we all want to feel sexy, right? That's part of these trouble areas. We don't feel good about these areas. Well, the industry has programmed us in the past to eat less, exercise more, and that's how we're going to lose weight. So many people do the whole drastic diet, tons of running on the treadmill in order to lose weight quickly. Unfortunately, it's not that simple as calories in, calories out. This mentality, that's probably why we think that we need to spot reduce, because when we lose weight in this fashion, what we see is the scale numbers go down, our clothes size gets smaller, but we're not totally happy about the way our bodies look and feel, because we haven't really changed our body composition. We're just a smaller version of our heavier selves. We're not really healthier, we're no stronger, we're no more energetic, and possibly we're kind of just looking and feeling kind of saggy. But those numbers on the scale went down. So, we remember this, and each time that we want to lose some weight, we crash diet, we do lots of exercise, we try to lose weight really quickly because we want it now. We make it harder for ourselves every time we do this. This slows down our metabolism, and especially as we get older, that is not a good thing. We lose lean body mass in the process. We throw our hormones into a tailspin, and we increase our stress. Now, again, we haven't really addressed the problem. So when we get our systems functioning properly, our body systems functioning properly, we're going to see the overall percentage of our body fat decrease. When we do this properly, our hormones are going to become more imbalanced, and we're going to see a more even distribution of our fat. And that's really what we're looking for. We can't get rid of all of our body fat, but what we're seeing in ourselves is we're seeing our body fat distributed unevenly in our bodies. So let's take a look at the proper way that we can do that. We can get our hormones under control, and that way we can do our best to target those trouble areas. But in the end, what we need to do is see a decrease in the percentage of body fat. We're going to talk about that. So we need to figure out, so when we see a decrease in the percentage of body fat, we're talking about body composition change. We're trying to do that intelligently through proper nutrition and appropriate exercise. So how are we going to do that? So there's tons of information out there, and I'm sure you've all done your homework. You've looked online, and you know, thought about all the things that you're going to do to make changes and get fit. Lots of nutrition information out there, lots of exercise information out there, and it all probably, when you take a look at it all, it seems conflicting and a little bit overwhelming. Well, why is it conflicting? It is because not everyone is the same. Everyone's unique, and not everything works for everyone. And as we've proven, as you've seen earlier, or we've already talked about, that the crash diet and the over exercise, it does work if you're just looking to see lower numbers on the scale. But that's not the best way to do this, because eventually you're gonna have to treat the problems here. So we're gonna try and treat the problems. So the reason that I offer the Evolve program, it's not like it's any typical weight loss program. It's a transformation program. It helps you figure out what's best for you in order to transform your body and your lifestyle. And when it comes down to it, that's the most important thing, so that you can keep the weight off and you can feel healthy and you can move forward and not have this be something that you have to think about. This just becomes a habit. You don't want to have to think about this every day for the rest of your life. Okay, so we're going to talk about changing your body composition. So this is a physical transformation. This is what we're talking about now, the physical part of the transformation. Our goal is to change that body composition. In a typical diet, you will lose weight. You'll decrease the amount of body fat that you have on your body. But unfortunately, you're probably also going to lose lean muscle. Also in danger when we crash diet is our metabolism and our hormone levels. This puts us at a huge risk to regain all the weight and then some, because our metabolism has tanked and our hormones are out of whack. So these are the things that we need to address. In order to successfully change your body composition and to look good, even though I know that there are plenty of other reasons for wanting to change your body composition, and we'll look at those in a second, there's nothing wrong with wanting to look good. There's nothing wrong with that. So in order to do that, we need to decrease our body fat percentage. We need to increase our lean muscle mass. We need to boost our metabolism, and we need to keep our hormones in check. Now you're going to see how all these are related in just a few seconds. But first, let's take a look at more than just looking good, right? So we were looking at what happens when we have a high body fat percentage. These are some of the risks that we put ourselves in. So we have a risk of high blood sugar, which can lead to diabetes. There's a higher risk of certain forms of cancer. We can get high blood pressure, high bad cholesterol readings, and those two, along with the high blood sugar, that can lead to stroke and heart disease. Where do we start? Okay, when we're wanting to take control of our health and take control of our body. Since lean muscle mass, body fat percentage, metabolism, hormones, like I mentioned, they're all linked. When we're feeling unhealthy, when we're not feeling fit, these can all feel like an out of control downward spiral, and I totally understand that feeling. Those of you who don't know my story, I struggled my entire adult life with my weight, so I totally get this out of control downward spiral. But the good news is we can start making small gradual changes which starts that spiral spinning in the opposite direction. We're looking to start the upward spiral. So let's talk about how we can do that. And we're going to start by talking about lean muscle. So let's take a look here. When we talk about building lean muscle as we lose fat, the industry talks about it. When we're talking to women, we often talk about it and we refer to it as toning. And toning and building muscle are really exactly the same thing. We've named it toning because women seem to be scared of building muscle because we think we'll end up looking something like the woman on the left here. This is, let me reassure you, not possible unless you're following some very, very stringent nutrition and weight training protocol. And you can't just do it like that. You need to be also taking some sort of enhancement drugs. We just don't have the hormones in our bodies to be able to do this naturally. We just don't. When we're talking about building lean muscle mass, we can still expect to look like women, just strong and healthy women, kind of like the woman on the right. How would you like that? Yeah. Okay, so how do we build that lean muscle? We're going to do that through proper nutrition, exercise, and recovery. Okay. Nutrition, we're talking about eating properly portioned, regular, balanced meals, minimally processed foods. Exercise, you're looking at a combination of full body, strength exercise, resistance exercise, weight training, high intensity intervals, and steady state cardio. Recovery, we're looking at stress management, proper sleep. Okay, these things are all very important when we're trying to build lean muscle. Okay, the next thing that's linked up in here is our metabolism. So what is our metabolism? Well, take a look at this pie here. This pie chart, this pie represents, the entire pie represents the amount of calories that we spend in a typical day. And this is different for everyone. Now, if you look at it, metabolism is the base number of calories that is needed to sustain life. So just keep your systems functioning. It's different for everybody, but it's a pretty huge piece of the pie, isn't it? 70% of the calories that you burn on a daily basis are spent keeping you alive and functioning. So again, the pie is the calories spent in a typical day. If you have a sluggish metabolism, your base calories are going to be low. That pie piece is going to get smaller. Well, here's the thing. Metabolism those are calories that burn throughout the day. Those are the fat burning calories that burn throughout the day. We want to make that metabolism the biggest piece of the pie as possible because that happens no matter what. So if we have a sluggish metabolism, we're going to be burning fewer calories at rest. So we want to ramp that up. I've had a number of people come in to see me and say, well, I just have a slow metabolism. Well, that's probably true, but it isn't an excuse because the number one reason that most people's metabolism is shot is lifestyle. So that means it's things that we can do, we can change, we can take control of our metabolism, and we can do steps every day to increase our metabolism. So some of the things that will slow down your metabolism are not eating breakfast. Okay, that's a bad one. So we need to get that metabolism started first thing in the morning. Dehydration, not drinking enough water, not eating enough protein, eating too many processed foods. We need to make sure that our intake of fruits and vegetables and whole grains is regular. We want to make sure that we're eating regular. We're not going hours without food and then having a huge meal because we're starving. Eating too fast can slow down your metabolism. Eating too much, or on the other hand, eating too little. Sedentary lifestyle and doing the wrong types of exercises. These are all things that can slow down our metabolism and all things that we can do something about. So increase your metabolism and you're going to burn more calories all day long. You want that fat burning, put your body in that fat burning mode for as many hours of the day as possible. And we want to get our we're going to feel better too, because our systems are going to function better and we're going to have more energy. So all win-win. How do we boost the metabolism? Okay, well, pretty much the opposite of all the things that slows down our metabolism. We want to eat the right foods in the right amounts. We want to drink lots of water. We want to eat plenty of lean protein, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, slow digesting carbs. We want to make sure that we're taking in a variety of healthy fats. We want to take in moderation, alcohol only in moderation. We want to look at our lifestyle. We want to see, are we practicing mindfulness? Are we taking care of our stress and our sleep? Are we fostering healthy relationships? Do we have a healthy work-life balance? We want to make sure that we're doing the right types of exercise. Are we strength training? Are we taxing the body smartly through high intensity intervals? And are we taking our active recovery? Are we doing things like practicing, going for walks, getting out into nature? These are all things that are going to help you boost your metabolism. Okay, so let's take a look at next. We've got some healthy hormones here. We want to keep those hormones levels balanced and healthy. So I hear from a ton of clients also who said that they've been diagnosed with hormone imbalances. And as you know, as we age, our hormone levels change, and that causes a number of changes in us, physically, emotionally, mentally, metabolically. And yes, imbalanced hormones, it's a real thing and it's diagnosable. But again, it's often used as an excuse for why we're putting on weight. So yes, it will, unbalanced hormones will make it very challenging to lose weight, and will also aid in putting weight on, unfortunately. But it is a vicious circle, again, that's part of that spiral. And we can slow down or stop or reverse that spiral. We just have to get our systems working better in our body. So what happens in that spiral? We put on weight, our hormones get imbalanced, our metabolism slows right down, and our metabolism is controlled by hormones. So then what happens? We put on a little more weight, our weight goes higher, our hormones get even more imbalanced, our metabolism slows down even more, and on it goes. It's all linked. We need to stop the cycle. We need to make gradual changes to boost that metabolism, and it has to be gradual. We can't do this very quickly. And our major factors, again, are nutrition and types of exercise, and the lifestyle factors. We need to get those hormones balanced. Again, this is why the Evolve program takes a full 12 months. So it's very gradual. There's a lot to cover. So as you've heard, there are a lot of things to practice here. And when it comes to making a permanent lifestyle and body transformation, you need that time to practice to make it stick. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about those problem areas. So I had mentioned, again, we started this talk with some of your questions about different areas, and I'm going to cover those right now. So the imbalance of hormones can affect where we store more fat in our body. We can't really spot reduce again. We need to bring down our total amount of body fat so that we can get the hormones under control. And then from there, we can do some tweaks, but we do need to have the hormones under control first, and we need to bring down body fat percentage. You bring down your body fat percentage in total, and I promise you that your tummy will go down, that your arms will start to look much more toned, that your breast size is going to go down too. All these areas, it's going to come down. So let's start with estrogen. Okay, so if we have an imbalance of estrogen, we have too much estrogen in our bodies. Oftentimes this happens as we age, but also if women are taking birth control or hormone replacement therapy. There's also some environmental factors when it comes to an imbalance of estrogen. That can lead to an excess accumulation of fat on our thighs and butt. So that's so if you're seeing an accumulation of lower body fat, that could mean that you have an excess of estrogen, or that you're not metabolizing estrogen properly. The next hormone that we'll look at is insulin. Insulin, as you can see, very much a lifestyle factors here that affect it. Too much sugar and white processed foods. Okay, so that can be seen as an accumulation of fat around sort of the love handles area. So that's our insulin, and we can take care of that. Just eating a balance of real whole foods. Okay. Next one is testosterone. So if we have low testosterone, even as women, we have testosterone floating around in our systems. Now, if we don't have enough of it, if we have low testosterone, which can be caused, look at that, by crash dieting. So that can tank our testosterone. And that is going to show up possibly as increased arm fat. Now, another interesting thing here, all of these hormones, it's not just specific to sites on the body, but especially certain hormones. If we have an imbalance, it's going to be harder to lose weight, period, if we have an imbalance of these hormones. So we really need to look at our diet and exercise and start getting our systems working properly so that we can get those hormones in balance so that we can lose weight, period. Now, the next one I want to talk about is cortisol. Cortisol is our stress hormone. It's the fight or flight hormone. When we're under chronic stress, we don't use the energy that is produced for that fight or flight response, okay? So what happens then is that energy gets deposited as fat in our bellies. So excess of belly fat, that tells me that possibly that you have a high stress life, basically, that you're not managing your stress well. And look there too, it also too much cardio can create the same kind of response as chronic stress. So that will give us an increase of cortisol. So really, we have to look at doing proper exercise. If we're doing cardio, that's putting us under chronic stress and may be the reason that we're carrying excess fat around our bellies. And then the last one here, human growth hormone. So growth hormone, really important for losing weight, period. So we need to produce as much growth hormone as we can, and that gets produced while we sleep. So if you are not sleeping at least 7 or 8 hours a night, then your growth hormone, you won't be producing as much, and you won't be able to lose the fat as well as if you were getting a good night's sleep. So don't discredit a good night's sleep. That is very, very important in many ways, but especially if you want to see that scale number move and if you want to see your body fat percentage drop, because body fat, when the body has plenty of growth hormone, you're going to be able to metabolize that fat. It also is significant in that we'll see an excess of fat around the ankles and possibly the calves if there's a lack of growth hormone. So let's talk about changing your body composition, or AKA fat loss. Those of you who have worked with me or know me or have seen any of my presentations before know that I am a big believer in one step at a time for success. So some of the strategies I'm going to talk about right now for balancing your hormones, they may sound familiar, okay? So eating regular meals containing proper portions of protein, vegetables, smart carbs, and healthy fats. Eating lots of cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower. Avoiding processed foods, avoiding processed meats. Eating a balance of healthy fats, including omega-3s. Increasing your circulation through exercise, eating slowly, managing and decreasing your stress, sleep more, increase your strength training, incorporate some healthy cardio in there, such as high intensity interval training. So do these strategies sound familiar? So it's not just for boosting your hormones, but for boosting your metabolism and increasing your lean body mass and losing body fat. I think we might be onto something here. So I know that we all really want our body to change right now. And when you hear this list of things to do, or you go onto the internet to check out, what you're going to do to you're motivated, you want to lose some weight. So you see all the nutrition programs out there, you see all the exercise programs out there, and it seems a little overwhelming. And deep down inside, you know that it's not going to happen overnight, and there's no miracle fix, even though we wish there was. I totally understand this. If you came into my office tomorrow and I gave you a huge binder of all the things that you needed to change in order for you to see body transformation, I said, go home, change all this, come back next week, let's see how it goes. Maybe in week 1 you'd be okay, and you may have lost a couple pounds. But do you really think that you'd be able to sustain that for that kind of a radical change for very long before you burn out? That's the way most traditional weight loss programs work, and that's why they fail. They make you change all at once, and there's too much information. There's not enough time to practice the skills that you need to make change stick for good, and that's what we're after here, is to make change stick for good. The Evolve program is a full 12-month program where you follow step by step an action plan that's designed to help you to practice those skills that are going to transform your body and your lifestyle gradually but successfully and for good. And I know it works because this was part of my transformation. So let's take a look here. These are some pictures of my transformation. I used to struggle with my weight my whole adult life, like I said. I was up and down. I did all sorts of weight loss programs. I was an avid runner. I took up running to get fit. And in fact, I wasn't really happy with where, I was getting more fit running, but I wasn't happy with the way my body looked. So I thought I needed to do more running. So I became an ultra runner. My training runs were 5 hours long sometimes, and my races were 50 miles long. But I still just never felt comfortable in my body. Ironically, bending over to tie my running shoes was really uncomfortable, and I didn't like the way my belly felt, and I hated clothes shopping. I couldn't stand bathing suit season. If there was talk of a beach vacation, I dreaded, having to, what was I going to wear? Anyway, these are the things that went through my mind. After some health complications that stopped me from running, and I ended up in the operating room. Recovery after that, I had some time to think. I wasn't able to run anymore, and I was stuck in bed. I hit rock bottom, and I knew I needed to change something. I needed to do something different. There's the key. I needed to do something different. And I thought, well, okay, I need some guidance here. So I found myself a coach, and that coach really helped me find the right answers for me. Rather than following someone else's plan, someone else's meal plan, this coach helped me create a plan of action that worked for me and for my body and into my life. And through that, I started to learn some confidence. As my body started to change, I obviously gained more confidence in the way I looked, but also in the actions that I was taking. I learned confidence in trusting my body to tell me the right things to eat and the right type of exercise to do. All with my coach's guidance. I learned to nourish my body and how to treat myself, how to go out and have a treat, like a Thanksgiving dinner, and without it turning into a free-for-all. So obviously by those pictures, you can see there was a body transformation that happened there. But in the end, the outcome of my transformation totally exceeded my expectation. I transformed in another way, and that is that I decided that I wanted to share this process with other women. I wanted to show people that it's possible. I switched careers and I became a fitness and nutrition coach. I studied and qualified to teach the same curriculum that my coach had done with me. So the exact same program, I qualified to become a coach. So now I'm giving back. So I want to share this program beyond my personal training studio. I want to reach out to a group of women just like you, and I'd like to help you through this journey. The best part of this is that it's completely from the comfort of your home, and it's on your own time. It's all online, but you still get the benefit of having a personal coach hold you accountable every single day. So let's take a peek here at, I'm going to make myself smaller so that you can see here. Okay, so this is these are the different levels that I'm offering. We're going to get started with your transformation right now. Whatever level you choose, if you're following the Evolve program, I guarantee your success, 100% money back guarantee. There's absolutely no risk. I know, I believe in this so much because I know it works. I've done it myself. So the Evolve online nutrition program is powered by PN's Pro Coach, and Precision Nutrition is where I got my certification, and that is the curriculum that I will be teaching you. So all of the levels, no matter which level you choose, they all have access to Pro Coach, and all levels have support through private Facebook group. So through that group, we'll support each other along the journey. Level 2, you have access to group webinars and email support with me. And level 3, we're adding in 2 private calls per month for personalized guidance. So that's via Skype, via telephone, whatever works for you, right from the comfort of your home. All packages are 12 months, but if you're not fully ready to commit to 12 months and you just want to give it a try for 3 months, there is an entry-level 3-month package. And you'll see that the cost is slightly more than the monthly amount, but I am so positive that you're going to love it, that you're going to finish out the program, that I'll credit you the difference if at the end of 3 months, you decide to stick with us for the remainder of the 9 months. So I'm sure that if you haven't committed already, it's probably because you have a few questions for me, and that's totally great. I would love to answer any of your questions, so let's set up a time to chat. So I'm extending the deadline. I should also mention extending the deadline for a few days because of Canadian Thanksgiving. And I know that there are a number of people who've gotten back to me saying that they're going to be away and they didn't want to miss the start of the program. So I don't want to start on Thanksgiving Day. So we're going to open it up. Registration will be open till October 13th, and we'll officially begin on October 17th. So between now and the 13th, be sure to shoot me an email so that we can set up a time to chat and get all of your questions answered. Email me directly. You can just respond to the email that you got this, that you got the replay of this webinar in, and I will set up a time to chat with you one-on-one. Ciao, thanks for listening. If you have any further questions, about spot reduction or anything, period, please feel free to email me. All right, have a great day. Take care. Ciao.